Bauer Media.
Hey folks, welcome. It's Wednesday night, and that's the Pine Forest Coaches Show, brought to you by Mark and Esther Acker, longtime supporters of Pine Forest Athletics. We're out here at Peaden's Seafood and Catering. God, I thought that was the Easter Bunny jumping up over there. Hey, I'm Billy Mack. I'm your host tonight. We got an action-packed show. It's homecoming week for the Trojans, and they're playing not the Cape Fear Colts like they typically always do, but they've got the Fighting Falcons from 71st High School going to be invading Harold K. Warren Stadium on Friday night. But we've got a lot to cover tonight. We're going to be talking to tennis coach Jared Britt. We're going to be talking to Athletic Booster Club President Daryl Giroux. We're going to be we would love to talk to head soccer coach Isaac Rancour, but we don't think he's going to be here tonight. They did win the conference championship last Monday night. So lots of good things going on at Pine Forest Athletics. The girls' tennis team is playing in the States right now. They had dual team yesterday, and we'll get the results from that from head coach Jared Britt. We'll talk about the single regionals that they had last weekend, and then coming up this weekend, they've got states for the girls. So just basketball's getting ready to get started. Jimmy Peaden is here tonight. We may try to squeeze him in to talk about their upcoming season. Don't forget they've got the fundraiser on Thursday, November the 10th. Now, it's not next Thursday, 2 weeks from tomorrow, basketball fundraiser right here, $25 a couple, $15 for a single. Call imjimmy.com, and you'll be able to get up with Jimmy Peaden. That's imjimmy.com. Go ahead and make your reservations now. But we're here at Peaden's, 1600 MacArthur Road, Trojan Coaches Show, action-packed show here tonight. Man, I hope I can stay awake because I did something I never do. I ate before the show tonight. So the shrimp is fantastic. And then I'm not sure who brought the donuts. Robin Stone brought the donuts, and today is pumpkin spice donut day. So all the regular donuts are pumpkin spice. So the glazed donuts, just kind of drips off, and you can just see the calories collecting on the box. Those are good. I've had one already. I've had my shrimp. Had some hush puppies, but Peaden seafood, doesn't matter whether you want crab cakes, whether you want some of the fried chicken. They've got serving green beans now. I mean, just amazing food. So whether you're just you and the wife coming out or you need to feed 5,000 people, you need to call 484-1972 for Peaden Seafood and Catering. Talk to Jimmy or to Ricky or to John. They will love to talk to you. Appreciate them hosting us every Wednesday for the Pine Forest Coaches Show. So, hey, we're going to step away, get a couple of commercial breaks, and then come back. We're going to have head tennis coach Jared Britt, talk to him about his girls' championship season, where they're standing in the state playoffs, and we're just rolling right along. So, hey, don't go anywhere, folks. We're right here at Peaden Seafood and Catering with the Pine Forest Coaches Show, brought to you by Mark and Esther Acker. We'll be right back.
Discover what's behind the gates at Gates 4 Golf and Country Club.
One of the area's premier gated communities, featuring an 18-hole championship golf course, a beautiful 3/4-mile exercise trail with a children's play area, 4 new USTA tennis courts and pavilion, perfect for weddings and receptions, a family-friendly pool with cover patio, and our clubhouse offers many dining options along with live entertainment and dancing.
Golf, swimming, tennis, dining. Learn more about membership at gates4.com.
Are you remodeling? The Restore Warehouse, Fayetteville's new and used home improvement alternative, is the area leader in new and used home and building supplies. Donate furniture, appliances, cabinets, lighting, windows, doors, or bath items. All donations are tax deductible. The Restore Warehouse also sells new kitchen cabinets, tile, flooring, and vanities for less. Plus, all net profits are donated to local Fayetteville area charities. Donate, shop, save, and support your community. Call now to schedule your free donation pickup.
Pack Power Media.
And welcome back to Peaden Seafood and Catering, home of the Pine Forest Trojan Coaches Show. And, man, they are rolling in tonight. We got Jimmy Peaden here, head coach Bill Sochovka. Folks, let me tell you how big this show has gotten. You want to big. And when I say big, I mean big. I mean, it's like the big fish the one-armed fisherman called. It is a big show. We've had people watching us in Texas, and they're here tonight. The people from San Antonio, Texas, showed up to watch the show tonight. So where are you? How come you're not here at Peaden Seafood and Catering for the Pine Forest Coaches Show every Wednesday night, 7 to 8? Thanks for tuning in, though, on our YouTube channel. Hey, I've got head tennis coach Jared Britt. Hey, man, I hadn't talked to you in a couple of weeks. How's things been going?
Been going pretty well for us.
First and foremost, man, I know you, with Hurricane Matthew, you and your family had some damage. Our thoughts and prayers have been with you guys. Can you give us an update? Things kind of getting back to normal? You got power, you got water?
Yeah, we got everything back. We got walls back up. Just living on concrete floors downstairs for the time being. So slowly but surely, but everything's back to normal. We appreciate everybody thinking about us, supporting us, and everything like that.
Yeah, man, we definitely have. So we've talked about you, prayed for you. But you won the conference championship in tennis, man. Has that ever happened before?
Yeah, last time we won conference championship in tennis, and we had to go back and talk to Mark Radledge, longtime Pine Forest tennis coach. Last time we won a tennis championship in girls tennis, 84, 85 season.
Wow,
so
30
it's been
plus.
30 plus years. Yeah.
30 plus years, so congratulations.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
So last weekend you had singles regionals, and explain to the folks out there who don't know that how tennis is a little bit different than your traditional stick and ball sports. Could you have singles and dual team? Explain to them what the difference is.
Right, so dual team is basically your traditional playoff setup where you have a team versus another team, and you have rounds, first round, second round, third round, and you win and you advance. But because tennis is a individual-based sport, you have singles and doubles regional setups to where you get to choose 2 single entries and 2 double entries for your conference, and then if they advance out of that, each conference, in our specifically Mid-South, we get 5 singles entries and 5 doubles entries into the 4A East Regional. If they play well enough at the regionals, they can qualify for state tournament. So we had 1 singles, Pine Forest had 1 singles and 1 doubles entry for our regionals. Our doubles entry didn't make it past the first 2 rounds. Our singles entry made it to the semifinals, so she qualified for the state tournament this past weekend. So she'll be in the state tournament this coming weekend.
So you guys your girls had to go to Wilmington last weekend, face some stiff competition?
Yeah, pretty stiff competition. The conferences that are in our region, you got conferences in Wilmington, which is traditionally pretty good tennis down there. And then you got Pinecrest is in our region as well, out of the Southeastern Conference, and they got a really solid program there. So I think they had 3 doubles teams entries and 2 or 3 singles entries out of there just off of their team make it to the regionals. So it was pretty stiff competition.
Well, that's great. So you've got who's going to be going to states this weekend?
So I've got Kelsey Farmer, who was my freshman #1 singles court player. She went undefeated on the year, didn't lose a singles or a doubles match all year.
Congratulations, Kelsey. Is she here tonight in the audience?
She's not here. She's probably
not
watching.
Here tonight. We got a good crowd here tonight.
Online. I made sure everybody knew about it.
Made sure everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
But she'll be. She won her first 2 matches at on Friday in Wilmington and then qualified for the semis. She went down Saturday, ran into some pretty stiff competition Saturday, did pretty well, and then she'll qualify. She goes up this weekend for the state tournament, so she's really excited about it.
All right, so where's your state tournament, and how can folks stay in touch with how she's doing?
Okay, so our state tournament, she'll play Friday morning at 9 a.m., starting at 9 a.m. at Millbrook Exchange Park. There's a Twitter account. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I tweet out scores. It's really my biggest accomplishment as a tennis coach probably is tweeting out scores. But if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at PFHS Tennis. That's the account. If you want to follow along, I'll be tweeting out her scores on Friday.
Can you throw that up there, Jake? At PFHS?
At PFHS Tennis. I couldn't believe it was available, but it was.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we're going to be following Kelsey Farmer this weekend. So the dual team started yesterday.
Right.
So that's where you go against another team.
Right.
And how were y'all seated?
Okay, so we were a number 1 seed coming out of our conference, which gave us an automatic. We were going to be automatically one of the top 4 seeds in the region. We drew the number 6 seed West Johnston coming out of. They were a 2 seed out of their conference. They came down yesterday. They ended up beating us 5-2. Ran into some light issues at the very end, so we couldn't finish the match. Really close match. We really matched up well with them. We went tie breaks on maybe 3 or 4 different courts. We had some 7-5 set scores, and we did win our singles matches on our first court and our second court. But other than that, we just came up a little bit short. Played really well. They just played a little bit better than we did.
So tie breaks mean you get to 5-5, and then you've got to go, or 6-6.
6-6.
6-6 because you got to win by 2.
Right.
And then so you just play.
You play best or your first to 7 for a tie break for the set, and then
traditionally win by 2.
Yeah, right. Traditionally in the playoffs, what you would do is you would play 3 full sets if you split the first 2. Problem is when you don't have lights on your court, you really have to kind of speed things up. So we do a 10-point tie break for a match. So if you split the first and second set with your opponent, you play the first person to 10, wins the match, and I think we had maybe 1 or 2 of those as well. So.
All right, so you got one person going to state. So we're here with head tennis coach Jared Britt. So you got one person going to states. What's the biggest accomplishment? What's the thing you're most proud of with the girls' tennis team at Pine Forest this year?
Coming in and really kind of gelling together early. You got really young girls up top, so we've got our starting 6 from top to bottom, 1 through 6, is freshman, sophomore. Then we had 2 seniors and then a junior at the end. And, I mean, a lot of these girls have never really played together before. Very quickly kind of gelled together. So second week of August, we've been out there for 2 weeks, and they're really enjoying one another, spending time together. Doubles teams started coming together really quickly, and they just enjoy the game. I mean, they really do. It's kind of different from me. In high school today, people are just multitasking and doing a lot of different things. And so to see girls that just beg you to open the courts, can we please go out? Can we make sure we're out there? Are we not going to practice on Friday? Well, if not, can we hit on Friday? It's just not something you see a lot of. And they just love the game a lot. And that's really how they've grown to kind of be the team they are right now. Really, really close team.
Well, that's great. Conference championship. I know that's always a goal when you start off, is to be conference champions. But honestly, was that your expectation this year? Did you feel like you had the team to do that, or did the girls just really gel together and it's like, wow, hey, we got a chance, we're good?
We at the beginning of the year, one of the things we talked about was, last year we were just kind of building the foundation of the program. This year we had some real talent at the very top of the program, and we had really good lower courts. I didn't know what the rest of the conference was going to look like. Tennis is not one of those things that you can guarantee who's going to be playing year to year. It's not like baseball. I've coached baseball for years where well, this guy was a freshman last year. He's going to be a sophomore this year. You kind of understand that those guys are going to play year to year. Tennis is one of those things that's it just kind of depends on who the players are. And some girls are just more dedicated than others when it comes to that. So our goal was to win automatically. But we just had no idea what kind of competition we were going to face. After our first round through the conference, we went undefeated our first round through, and after that, I said, look, we can do this again. There's no doubt in my mind that we can win this thing, and they were right on board with it, and we ended up going undefeated through conference the whole time.
That's an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations. Looking forward to 2017.
Right.
What do you got in the cupboard? Is the cupboard bare? Have you got I know you said Kelsey is a freshman.
Kelsey's a freshman.
So who else do you have coming back that we can look forward to and expect to hear a lot about next season?
So Kelsey will be back as a freshman. Shania Lane is my second court player. She'll be back.
Shania Twain.
Shania Lane.
Shania Lane.
Not quite the same.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I didn't think she had any eligibility back. I was like, I know she's from Canada, but did she have eligibility? I know she can sing. The singing tennis player.
She'll be back on court too. She'll be a sophomore next year. Alonda Weaver will be my third court player this year, and where they're sitting next year, I have no idea. But she'll be back next year as a junior. And then I graduated my 4th and 5th court players, and then my 6th court player this year will be a senior next year, and looking for her to kind of step into a leadership role next year. So we're losing 2 out of our top 6, but we've got some really talented girls right outside the top 6 that are just chomping at the bits to get in. And so I'm really excited about it, and I expect a lot of good things next year as well.
Now, is tennis like some of the traditional sports? I mean, football, Bill's got them in the weight room. He's, maybe some 7-on-7. The baseball team, I know you said they're out there hitting an inter-squad gaming already. Do you have contact with the girls all year, or do they have private coaches, or are there leagues and tournaments that they play in to help better themselves?
It kind of depends on the girl. I'll have the tennis courts open. The thing is, with boys tennis in the spring, you can't really get the girls on the courts a lot because it's kind of specialized. You can't really do what you need to do as far as getting on the courts as much as you want. A lot of them will either take lessons, have private coaches, or either play in some weekend tournament stuff throughout the winter. And I know they have an indoor facility in Greensboro that they play in.
Nice.
It just kind of depends on how dedicated they want to be, how much time they want to put into it. I'll have contact with them starting in the summer whenever we can get together, but I really don't try to push the envelope in the spring. And I coach baseball, so it's not like I can go out there whenever I want to, but I don't try to push it too much. I really want them to make up their minds to get out. And really with tennis, the best thing you can do is just play. And, if you have a private coach, that's fine, instructors to kind of teach you technique, but being on the court, teaching yourself ball placement, teaching yourself how to move on the court is really the biggest obstacle you have to overcome.
Well, man, it's great, man. Y'all are to be congratulated for your accomplishment this season. Conference champs, first time in 30-plus years. I mean, let's put it this way, folks. The last time Pine Forest was a girls' conference tennis champ, I was in high school.
And I wasn't alive.
And you weren't alive. I was in high school. That's right. And since my wife has made her presence known here, the last time we had you on, we talked about a challenge match that is yet to appear. So thank you, honey, for reminding me of that. So what did we decide it was going to be? We decided it was going to be you and David against her and Rob.
Look,
David
right.
never said a date. I texted him and said, "Give me a date."
Well, look, right when I text David, he said, "Set it up. You just tell me when." And then I ran into him in the weight room the other night. So evidently he's been training the whole time, and we just haven't heard anything from Terry Sanford yet. So
haven't heard anything from Terry Sanford. So the turtle is it the turtle? Are we waiting on the turtle?
No, the turtle's ready.
The turtle's ready. Okay, so when we come back next week, we're going to have this all set, and we're going to sell. What kind of fundraiser is going to be? Because I got both y'all here. Is it going to be Hurricane Matthew fundraiser? Is it going to be the winner gets all the proceeds for their athletic department? No, I'm being told no. So all the proceeds are going to go to me because I'm the one who set this up. So we're just going to figure that out. So next week, and of course, because we can stream live, we'll be able to stream this whole match live. It's going to be like a celebrity death match. I cannot wait. To make it interesting, I think we might put y'all in sumo suits. And in between sets. And in between sets, they're going to have to eat a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts and a pound of shrimp.
I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'll show up just for the donuts and shrimp.
Just for the donuts and shrimp. So, all right, let's go get it back under control here. Where's that 2-year-old, Jimmy? He's supposed to be in charge here. Hey, man, congratulations again. Thanks for coming on. We'll have you on to talk some baseball a little later in the next spring. Talk about what's going on with you and Tom and all the good things that are going on with Pine Forest baseball, man. But congratulations on an excellent season.
I appreciate
and being
it.
Conference champs.
Thanks for
and
having me
good luck
on,
this
man.
weekend.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hey,
a lot.
that's head tennis coach Jared Britt. When we come back, if you have us back, if you haven't already turned us off, head coach Bill Sochovka. We're going to recap last week's game, the 30-13 win over Overhills, and then preview the big conference tilt, the game of the week in the Mid-South Conference as the Trojans are going to host the 71st Fighting Falcons. But hey, it's the Pine Forest Trojans Coaches Show right here from Peaden Seafood, brought to you by Mark and Esther Acker, longtime supporters of Trojan Athletics. We'll be right back.
Discover what's behind the gates at Gates 4 Golf and Country Club.
One of the area's premier gated communities, featuring an 18-hole championship golf course, a beautiful 3/4-mile exercise trail with a children's play area, 4 new USTA tennis courts and pavilion, perfect for weddings and receptions, a family-friendly pool with cover patio, and our clubhouse offers many dining options along with live entertainment and dancing.
Golf, swimming, tennis, dining. Learn more about membership at gates4.com.
Are you remodeling? The Restore Warehouse, Fayetteville's new and used home improvement alternative, is the area leader in new and used home and building supplies. Donate furniture, appliances, cabinets, lighting, windows, doors, or bath items. All donations are tax deductible. The Restore Warehouse also sells new kitchen cabinets, tile, flooring, and vanities for less. Plus, all net profits are donated to local Fayetteville area charities. Donate, shop, save, and support your community. Call now to schedule your free donation pickup.
Pack Power Media.
Hey, and we're back on the Pine Forest Trojan Coaches Show, brought to you by Mark and Esther Acker. And who knew that Mark had a nickname of SpongeBob? But Mark, thank you for your sponsorship tonight, your friendship. We appreciate it. And next time you go to Krabby Patty's, please bring us all a crab cake. So, hey, head coach Bill Sochovka, man, you're in a sweatshirt tonight. The weather's changed a little bit. It's feeling like football weather outside.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just having a conversation with our boys because originally being from the north, temperatures are different down here. So when they think it's going to get cold out, they think they have to dress up like they're in Alaska for a Friday night football game. Anything they see below 50 degrees, they're pulling out the warm gear. I say, just relax. It's still going to be decent out. So. We don't want to overeat before we step on the field. That's
exactly right. But big win Friday night. You go on the road to Overhills, 30-13 win. Julian with a nice game. Quarterback Julian Hill, 8 for 14, ran for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown, and caught a touchdown. Nice game from your quarterback.
Yeah, we kind of moved the ball around in different areas. We were just not having a very good night offensively. They were doing a good job blitzing us, so we had to come up with other schemes. And we did a trick play with Vontae Carter taking the pitch and throwing it back to Julian on a pass play. And just, at this point in the game, you got to put the ball in the best players' hands and let them do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and Levante, he had a big game as well, catching, pitching, and receiving the ball a little bit. He's getting some offers. He's getting some looks for some colleges. He's only a junior. So what's his ceiling, man? How good can Levante Carter be?
Well, he's got a natural ability. When you watch him run, he just has an extra gear that comes out of nowhere. His ability running the ball and seeing the hole and hitting it and going is pretty amazing. He's probably one of the best I've seen in terms of his vision. He's got a lot of tools and a lot of talent to play at the next level. We just got to give him in the weight room a little bit more, put some weight on him. I think probably his best position might be playing that slot receiver where they could run the ball to him, throw, put him out. We kind of did with him this year, put him out one-on-one with linebackers. I know App State has shown an interest in him right now, which would be a great fit for him, particularly with the offense they run.
And App State doing very well in their new conference, undefeated, chance to win the conference championship, go to a bowl game. Congratulations, Mountaineers. 30-13 was the final score. struggled a little bit on offense. We talked a little bit about that in the break. Only 156 yards of offense. Was it something that they were doing schematically or defensively that threw you off, or just an off night for the offense and you still came out with the win?
I think it was a combination of both. They did a little bit something a little bit different. We made adjustments. I think overall, we really hadn't played in 2 weeks. So that was our first game. So getting what I call the first game jitters out again, like we had it against Brunel Sweat. I think that was part of it. I don't know, is my mic on?
Up, Jared turned it off.
How dare he turn it off? Now can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me now?
You hadn't missed
Can
anything.
you hear me now? So.
Who knew Bill's mic was off? Raise your hand.
I talk loud. But yeah, so chalking up for that. So we had a decent week of practice, which we have to. It's a big game for us. The next 2 games are big games for us in terms of, conference situation and playoff seedings as well.
Head coach Bill Sochovka talking about the team's 30-13 win against Overhills at Overhills last Friday night. Saw some different names in the offensive stat book. Sochovka caught a couple of passes, which is he was playing tight end. You moved him to defensive tackle where he's thrived, but how was that part of the plan? Was to get him on, or was he forced into action?
No, we've always had Matthew as part of our offensive package, but because our offense was doing so well, we never really had to use him and bring him in. And when we had the time off for with the hurricane, we decided to put it in and start working on it. We just decided to go with him because him being as big as he is, he runs fairly decently. He's got good hands. The only problem is he just has to remember when he catches the ball to stay on his feet because he likes to hit the ground a lot after he catches the ball. Even Friday night, he fell and he had to lean back and, the old lean back and do the thing. So we're working on that.
Is that the hair that causes him to fall?
Might be top heaviness.
Might
probably.
be top heavy. Yeah, he's not a weeble.
No, he's not a weeble.
He's not a
wobbles
weeble.
and he falls down.
We're talking about Matthew Sochovka, but on the defensive side of the ball, he's really excelled. He leads the conference in tackles, 21 tackles for loss. He's been a beast leading that hard-hitting defense. I mean, you guys have been so opportunistic this season, averaging almost 2 turnovers a game, and you've got a turnover in every game this season.
Yeah, we do a pretty good job with the pressure up front. Another big part of that, too, is our DBs, as being this season they are, do a very good job in covering people. Sometimes we get coverage sacks, and I think we had, Friday night was an example. We had a safety, and then, of course, we had a touchdown, interception for a touchdown that there was pressure on the quarterback. He threw out the back foot. It was a lob, and Nate Graham took it to the house. And because of that, they get rewarded with a steak dinner. Compliments of New Again Carpet.
Thanks, Jeff. New Again Carpet Cleaning, 489-0000.
Right.
Is that it? Is Nate in the house tonight? Yeah, there's Nate. He's not going to miss a chance to be on camera. That's right. He likes to be on camera more than I do, I think. But really good game, solid game. Really never got a safety on the first possession for them. Then Nate returned one to the house. So you really kind of took Overhills out of their game completely right from the get-go.
Well, it was. I mean, they were pretty athletic. I think they brought it within a couple of points of a touchdown, and that's when we threw the pass to Julian right before half. I got to give Coach Kirk a lot of credit. Stepping in like he did. He's got a big team, a new system, and that Overhills is one of those strange enigmas about as a team because of how big they are and where they're located. We know they get athletes, and I think what hurts them a lot is because there's so many military people in there. They get a kid for 2 years and he's gone. They don't get that consistency like we kind of get or somewhere else. But I was impressed with their athleticism, and the next year they're still in our conference next year, and we're not 3A, 4A conference. So us and Southview and them are the only 4A teams. So we have to beat two of those to make it. Whatever.
That's going to be an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Having the split conference. Is Cape Fear dropping down? Are they dropping to 3A?
They're dropping to 3A.
So they were going to be the 4A school too, and that's
a lot of teams. Even Dudley's dropping down to 3A. So I think the 3A next year you're going to probably be very, very competitive. I mean, you're going to have a lot of really good teams that normally, make the run for state playoffs in the 4A level.
I think you're going to see that with the 3A and the 2A with what they're doing, folks. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association, our good friend Q Tucker, during realignment process, the top 20% of the schools are going to be 4A, 25% will be 3A, and it's all based on enrollment. That's the size of the school. 25% will be 2A, and then 20% 1A, trying to group them together a little better geographically or cut down on some travel. But the unique thing next year is 71st and Jack Britt will no longer be in a conference. They're going to be playing with Scotland County, Richmond, Hoke County, Lumberton, Purnell, Sweat, and Pinecrest. So kind of opens the door for you guys. It's going to be interesting to see with only 3 4A teams. Is it potentially could all 3 of you make the playoffs?
Well, yes, and the other thing too is people know Jack Britt and 71st were in that league many years ago. And in fact, the last time they were in there in the state championship, 4A, big and small 4A, all 4 of those teams came out of that conference. It was Jack Britt and Richmond. It was Douglas Bird and 71st. So, which was funny because the state kind of wanted to redo things, and especially with
the
Cumberland
year that
County,
changed
keep
it all.
Cumberland County out, and all of a sudden, 3 out of the 4 teams were from Cumberland County playing for the state title. So our it was pretty obvious that our numbers were pretty good in terms of getting a state championship. And I believe that was Bob Paroli's first and only state champion.
Beat his team, his former
yes,
team.
Yeah. So.
James Hopper, if you're watching, yes, you were the MVP of that state championship game. Congratulations. Went on to a great career at Georgia Tech. Been a graduate assistant with Coach of Western Carolina. Now you're still our friend, but we love James. But, yeah, so it's going to be interesting that you implemented the pod system after that to ensure that a Raleigh team got into the playoffs. But 2008 was just such
I love the way how you said that.
What?
The pod, making sure Raleigh teams got into playoffs.
That was what it was all about. I mean,
I
called Q Tucker, my friend. I asked her. I was like, so teams that from the same conference can meet in the second round? And she said yes. So you will have a pod champion that then moves on. And that went on for a couple of years, and they realized that was not producing their best football because you're not getting the best matchups. And their efforts to reduce, and you got to give them credit. They're attempting to reduce travel, which reduces cost. Yes.
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 Yeah. But I mean, we have you have a top seed, 2 teams who and sometimes played each other 2 weeks ago, having to play each other again, and those 2 teams should
be meeting in round 3.
Round 2.
Yeah, but they were meeting in round 2.
Yeah, now
should have been meeting in round 3.
Yeah, now they're meeting the second round. That happened to
Jack Britt and 71st
a lot, So and then I think the problem is those other games become more skewed. You're not truly getting the better teams
the best
there.
teams.
Just because you got it in a decent or a weaker pod, you made it through, but you're not necessarily the best team because just the way it worked.
Just the way it worked. So talking football with head coach Bill Sochovka. Now you bring up the 71st Jack Britt game, and we covered that game. And 71st had beat Jack Britt in the season. Still remember talking to Richard Bailey. Hey, I think we figured some stuff out. We've got some keys. We're changing things, and the second game was worse than the first game.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Paroli had it on him. Jack Britt scores a touchdown. The guys come down to me on the field. They're like, "Hey, Bill, Jack Britt scored a touchdown. They got a little momentum. Do you think they can come back and win?" And I paused myself and collected my thoughts, and I looked, and I straight face said, "Guys, if they make this comeback, it'll be the biggest comeback since Lazarus." And that's exactly what happened in the booth, is you could hear my guys laughing in the booth. So my best line there, there's my I don't have a lot of field stories, but that was one of them. So, hey, that's enough about Overhills. When we come back, we're going to talk about the big game this Friday night, homecoming at Carroll K. Warren Stadium, 7 o'clock kickoff against the 71st Fighting Falcons with Mid-South Conference and state playoff implications on tap for this game. So, hey, don't go anywhere. We're having a big time here at Peaden Seafood and Catering with the Trojans Coaches Show, brought to you by Mark and Esther Acker. We'll be right back.
Discover what's behind the gates at Gates 4 Golf and Country Club.
One of the area's premier gated communities, featuring an 18-hole championship golf course, a beautiful 3/4-mile exercise trail with a children's play area, 4 new USTA tennis courts and pavilion, perfect for weddings and receptions, a family-friendly pool with cover patio, and our clubhouse offers many dining options along with live entertainment and dancing.
Golf, swimming, tennis, dining. Learn more about membership at gates4.com.
Are you remodeling? The Restore Warehouse, Fayetteville's new and used home improvement alternative, is the area leader in new and used home and building supplies. Donate furniture, appliances, cabinets, lighting, windows, doors, or bath items. All donations are tax deductible. The Restore Warehouse also sells new kitchen cabinets, tile, flooring, and vanities for less. Plus, all net profits are donated to local Fayetteville area charities. Donate, shop, save, and support your community. Call now to schedule your free donation pickup.
Pack Power Media.
And welcome back to Peaden Seafood and Catering with the Pine Forest Trojan Coaches Show, brought to you by Mark and Esther Acker, here with head coach Bill Sochovka. Bill, you've put yourself in a good position. The team has played great. You're 7-2, 3-1 in the conference, undefeated at home. Next 2 games at home determine whether you're a number 1 seed or a number 4 seed or somewhere in between. And it's got to feel really good to control your own destiny at this time of the season.
Yeah, it's funny. The story or analogy I've been telling our kids is I have my hand out like that. I said, think of you guys having a pot of gold in your hand. I said, every time you win that pot gets bigger and bigger. He said, but every time we do something like the Overhills game, I said, guys, you can't, even though we won, a couple of those pieces fell out because we didn't play the games we need to play. So, the next 2 weeks, especially this Friday night, we can't do what we did last Friday night. We got to do better. And I said, and you're right. I said, destiny. I, of course, had to explain what destiny was to our team. I said, you don't want anybody taking that pot of gold from you. You want that pot of gold to be bigger at the end. That when you cash it in, it's worth a lot of something. And I always tell them, I said, the wins that we have are not as important as the next win you have to get. And then they make those 7 wins more important. They had to explain that to them. But my point being was, we can't take a step back. We got to focus on what we have. And years past, we had to make sure you don't want to be like, well, if this team loses here and we beat this team, and if snow follows over
Kansas,
the equator, then we could get in. And so we're, I feel pretty good that we're in playoffs, but I'm not going to tell my kids that because the goal is to win out and have a home game. And we always say the other goal is, to having me to buy 100 or probably 200 biscuits on Thanksgiving morning because we're practicing because we made it to the next round because we haven't gone past the first round
in a long time
since T-Bell Williams played, I guess 07, something like that. So when we had our chances, so we all have our goals and they're still focused on that for the most part.
So this Friday night, homecoming, distraction. How big a distraction?
Well,
I rescheduled homecoming on top
right.
of that.
To be honest with you, I think the way it panned out, it worked out pretty good. The kids know my feeling on homecoming. And I told him, I said, no offense, homecoming queens and kings, I said, but no one knows, remembers who the homecoming queen was the year before, but a lot of time people remember what the score of the game was after next year. I said, so I have my sayings. They understand my feelings about homecoming. We'll participate as much as we can, including myself. I just found out today that I'll be getting a pie in the face during the pep rally because
Nice.
I was one of 3 teachers that made it in the top 3 of getting a pie in the face. So whatever it takes.
Is that most liked or least liked?
Depends how you look at it.
Here's pie in your eye.
So, but I also think the other thing, sometimes that helps in terms of they understand you always want to play that big game in homecoming and how people are going to be there. And I told them today we have 2 radio stations that are going to be there. You guys are going to be there. Obviously, Failed Observers made it, I think, the game of the week. I know at least 2 colleges staff are coming down to watch some of our players play as well as 71st. So the atmosphere is right. It's going to be a cold night. It's going to be a beautiful night. And probably a great time to have a homecoming game and the game that we need to have.
Looking forward to it. 71st comes across town, 6-2, 2-1, 3-way tie for second place right now in the conference. And like we said, you guys control your own destiny. But when you look across the field, man, those guys are pretty good. You know,
yes, they are.
Elijah McFadden, 1,500 yards, 24 touchdown. Kyler Davis completes over 50% of his passes, has 8 touchdowns. But it's that running game, that bruising back that Duran McLaurin always seems to find. How do you slow that running game down?
Well, the big thing is with his running scheme is to try to keep them in, get them to 2nd and 8, 3rd and 8, so they can rely on pass a little bit. Their offensive line are they're very physical. They're very athletic. They like to pull both the guards and tackles and run that counter. And he's basically, what I like about what he does, he says, okay, this is who we are. We're not going to beat us, and you beat us, that's it. And he's got enough athletes in the quarterback and in the running back where you just can't focus on the running back. You know, their quarterback is just as potent running the ball as he is throwing the ball. And their defense is phenomenal. The guys up front are big and they move very well, but their linebacker corps flies around the ball.
Yeah.
They're very, very fast.
We talked a little bit about it in the break. Coach McLaurin has had 5 different running backs in the last 5 years go over 1,000 yards. One of those players went for 2,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. Elijah McFadden has a chance to go over 2,000 yards. What's he doing over there that just continues to produce? And that's over 2 different schools. So
right.
he had E. Smith. He had 1,000 yards. He comes over to 71st. He gets back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons, and now a 1,500-yard season.
Well, I think what Coach McLaurin does is something that people in Cumberland County are very familiar with. He has a system. He knows what his system is, and he finds the right running back to fit his system. And he goes with it, and he just builds that kid up to the point, and he's very good about, as well as you're not worried about, well, this kid's only a 9th grader. Well, if he's a 9th grader and he's the best one, put him on the field, and you might have him for 4 years or 2 years, like Paul Underwood, and that's refreshing because a lot of times in high school sports, because of the dynamics of the school, you might have to adjust your offense because you don't have that running back. But he has a great sense of eye to find that kid, and they're all different sizes. They're not that. They're not really a big kid. Paul Underwood. I had the chance.
5'9", 165 pounds.
If he's that, I mean, we had a chance to coach him at the East-West, and I was surprised at how small he was, but very athletic. And I'm thinking,
cut on a dime.
Oh yeah, and but the other part too is he also does a very good job with that offensive line.
And that's to me the key.
Those guys block really well, and they help that running back out tremendously.
Well, kind of like you with your pedigree, going back to Dean Sathos, you look at where he came up. He played for Bobby Pauls, I believe, at 71st.
Yes.
And then coached for Randy Ledford I mean, hello, if that's not ground and pound in Cumberland County, I mean,
which is funny because Duran was a quarterback, and you know, remember with a couple with his Smith's teams, they also threw the ball very well. He had some pretty good receivers, and he used that as part of
Harold Herbin. He had Covington over there.
So he does a really good job at making sure those guys fit into his system.
You talked about the linebackers. I mean, you're talking about Jameis Alston, Nate Glover, Tremaine Herring, Larry Ball, collectively 240 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and we hadn't even talked about Antonio Barnes, who leads the team with 84 tackles and 5 tackles for loss. They're quick, they're athletic. What do you do to slow them down and neutralize them?
Well, the big thing that we have to do is try to make sure that they're not making their tackles in behind our line of scrimmage. We know it's going to be a tough game. We know we're going to have to do some things a little bit differently. You know, we like to use our speed on the outside. We've been working on some things where we're going to kind of attack them in the middle a little bit more and try to slow them down.
All right, Nate, don't give too much away.
No, I mean it's nothing different he hasn't seen on film. So, but the big thing that we can't do is obviously turn the ball over. Field position's key with them too, and that's the other thing. What he does a really good job of keeping the ball away from you because of the offensive runs. Now his offense has the potential, and they have hit big plays, and go 30, 40 yards for a big score, or he's got that I'm going to nickel and dime you, and then hit you with the play. So he's done a great job at 71st, and of course even when he was at Smith.
326 yards a game they average on the ground. They only give up 21 points a game. Their single loss in conference was to Cape Fear. I know you've had the chance to look at that film. Kind of a controversial loss. Something I had never seen before was roughing the center, and I went back and looked at that play numerous times and still trying to figure out where the foul was. Otherwise, that game goes in a different direction because that was the play that changed the ball game.
Well, what's interesting about that too is I've been in it 22 years. I've never ever have seen it called. Watched a lot of football, never heard it being called. So I think somebody was telling me, sometimes when the officials know that their supervisor is at the game, sometimes they get a little bit jumpy.
Yep, that would be that would go. Another key stat that I noticed: they've only punted the ball 10 times, so they're doing a great job at controlling the ball and doing what they want to do. But when the flip side to that is if you're able to stop them, does that put them in a situation where they're not used to being to, and could put you guys an advantage to block a punt, have a bad snap, a bad exchange somewhere, which could flip the field position?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I don't like talking anything about those things because I don't want them to come true.
For their side.
Yeah.
For their side.
Either side.
Their last game was on 10-6. They've been off for 22 days. How big a factor is that going to be?
Well, like I said, with us playing Overhills, you miss that game speed. I mean, you can practice all you want. You can't practice. The state has told us you can only hit so many minutes a day. Really, I think it's 60 minutes per week. That's only 15 minutes a day if you think about practicing. So you got to be real careful about that. So your timing goes down. That's kind of to our advantage. I was told with the little birdie that they had a very physical practice on Monday, which normally on Monday you don't do that because you're coming off a game, so that kind of helps them out. But it'll be interesting and playing again. It's our homecoming, but it could be a distraction for them with the crowd and things that are going around. But yeah, 22 days is a long time. I told you this before when we were a week and wanting to get back to practice and even playing. That's tough. You got to come up with some real interesting things to keep the kids motivated to practice.
Bad time to have an off week.
Yeah.
After being off for a week,
exactly.
And then you have your off week. So, hey, looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday night. 6:30 pregame for us at the Mid-South Sports Network. You can catch us on midsouthsports.net or Sunny 94.3. Big game. I mean, folks, when we say hashtag big-time game, we're talking big-time game. Two of the best in the county, 71st, Pine Forest, Harold K. Warren Stadium, homecoming. We're looking forward to seeing you guys then.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we've got Athletic Booster Club President Daryl Giroux. We've got some players in the house. We've got a swimmer in the house. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're a long way from being done. We'll be right back on the Trojan Coaches Show, brought to you by Mark and Esther Actor, coming to you from Peaden Seafood and Catering. We'll be right back.
Discover what's behind the gates at Gates 4 Golf and Country Club.
One of the area's premier gated communities, featuring an 18-hole championship golf course, a beautiful 3/4-mile exercise trail with a children's play area, 4 new USTA tennis courts and pavilion, perfect for weddings and receptions, a family-friendly pool with cover patio, and our clubhouse offers many dining options along with live entertainment and dancing.
Golf, swimming, tennis, dining. Learn more about membership at gates4.com.
Are you remodeling? The Restore Warehouse, Fayetteville's new and used home improvement alternative, is the area leader in new and used home and building supplies. Donate furniture, appliances, cabinets, lighting, windows, doors, or bath items. All donations are tax deductible. The Restore Warehouse also sells new kitchen cabinets, tile, flooring, and vanities for less. Plus, all net profits are donated to local Fayetteville area charities. Donate, shop, save, and support your community. Call now to schedule your free donation pickup.
Pack Power Media.
Hey, welcome back to the Pine Forest Trojan Coaches Show, coming to you from Peaden Seafood and Catering, brought to you tonight by Mark and Esther Acker. Thanks for your support of Pine Forest Athletics. Speaking of Pine Forest Athletics, the Booster Club President Daryl Giroux, man, it's been a good fall season for you guys. Football's doing well. Tennis was conference championship, soccer conference championship. That's got to be good for the Athletic Booster Club.
It really is, and it's really going to pay dividends when we go into conference soccer games next week. I just found out that we're hosting a first round of the playoffs the following Saturday. However, what has hurt us is this weather. We've lost a couple of JV home games that we weren't able to, have our biggest revenue, our concession stand. We had the varsity game moved to a Saturday, and when they move those games, you've got to quickly try to get people in to volunteer. So that hurt us as well a little bit. But we've got a great team of volunteers that have really it's like herding cats this fall season. And give me a minute just to thank a couple of them.
Sure, man.
Jackie Ross was and has coordinated our football concession volunteers. We've got the Poe family, volleyball, brought in a lot. I mean, I think they set a record as far as bringing in money. It was fantastic.
Tough season for the volleyball team as well.
It was all around tough
very
season.
Very challenging. So congratulations to all the girls. Kudos to you.
No, they did great. And then Mandy Hitton was doing our soccer coordination, and that all three of them, my hat's off to them for getting people out there and getting those concession stands open. But we got a few games left, and our biggest money maker is this weekend.
You got 2 home games left in a row.
That's right.
Homecoming. Anything special? You're bringing in extra volunteers. I know Cape Fear travels well.
Right. Well, we've got an all-call for volunteers for this weekend. We open a third concession stand. We've got a trailer from the county that'll be stocked with stuff. So our coordinators are trying to get the rally troops. I've sent an email to all the coaches trying to get some of the coaches to throw some support. I know the athletic director has done the same thing, trying to get some of the coaches to get their support out there. So if we get just a few more people, this will be our biggest weekend. Of course, the shirts are new this year.
I see that. Get up and turn around. There's some on the back.
There is.
We can get something. We got that, Jake. Does that look good?
Not my best side, but
there you go. All right. So if you volunteer, you get this shirt.
No, we're selling these as a fundraiser this year.
Selling them, okay.
Well, we went with the SGA, and the SGA actually designed the shirt, and we got Carrubba's Restaurant to pay for most of the manufacturing of the shirt.
Very good.
So when they are sold, a bulk of that profit is going between the SGA and the Booster Club. Something we tried this year. I think it's working out really well, so they'll be on sale at the game as well.
Good deal. Now, to clarify, you did say that soccer is next Saturday the 5th? Friday's the 4th.
That sounds right.
Saturday
I got a text
5th
a minute ago
home.
that said, we're hosting the first round on Saturday. And by the time I said, which Saturday?
Nothing.
Here I am, so.
So it could be this Saturday, the 29th. But we'll check into that.
No, it wouldn't be this Saturday because we got the conference game next week. So I'm hoping it's a following Saturday. Or we got to turn some volunteers quick again.
No, we'll do that. But, hey, man, we wanted to have you on tonight, one, to get an update on all the other sports, but two, we told you from the beginning this was a fundraiser for Pine Forest Athletics. Here's a check for $300 from Pack Power Media to the Pine Forest Athletic Booster Club. Oh, man, this has been so neat. We have enjoyed doing this show every week with Bill and everybody having the different coaches on. I think we even had the principal on. What's his name? David? Colbreth, yeah, thank you. The man who's going down in tennis. But no, we told y'all from the beginning we wanted to turn over a portion of the money we were able to raise back to you guys to support the athletics on this side of this side of town. So with that, man, put it to good use.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, it really is. And thank you very much for what you do for the Booster Club, for the North End here, for Pine Forest High School. This has been a great show, and look forward to many more. Thank you.
We're going to do it, man. Jimmy got out of here before I had a chance to pin him down, but we'll have him on next week to talk about basketball and carrying it right on through, man. But just continue the great work, and if you need anything from us, please let us know so we can help continue the good work that you guys are doing that you're the leader of.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, Daryl Giroux, we'll get a picture with him. Actually, my wife wants to take a picture now, so hold that check. We don't have the big check. We'll get a big check. Yeah,
all right.
That's not the Happy Gilmore check.
That's all right.
It
won't bounce, right?
That won't. Only if I wrote it and I didn't write it. So, hey man,
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We're gonna get Colin on as this. We talk about the swim team again. Come on over, Colin. Schmidt. We got Schmitty here. Where's your parents? I like your dad, man. He cooks good barbecue. Is he watching? Are you watching, Dad? Because your barbecue's good. So Colin Schmidt, swimmer. How you doing?
I'm doing good. About you?
Doing well. Returning this year. Are you senior, junior? I forget.
A senior.
Senior. All right. You look very senior-esque. What's your favorite event, and how good are you? Are you going to regional, states, championship?
Well, last year I went to regionals, and I hope to go to regionals this year. And my favorite stroke would have to be breaststroke. I'm getting better at it. I started working with it my sophomore year, and I've honed it to be better. So hopefully that will take me to regionals.
All right, breaking in a new coach this year. When do y'all start? Y'all think y'all start Monday the 31st?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean you get to wear costumes to the pool?
No.
No costumes to the pool? That would help with drag, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So it ultimately would help you.
Yeah.
That would be kind of scary, though. It's 5:30 in the morning, having to get to the pool because you guys get up early. So 5:30 practice, is that right?
Yes.
So what time does that get you up in the morning?
Well,
5:25.
Well,
4:30.
Yeah, I normally wake up at 4:30.
So so that's a long day. So you're 4:30. You're at the pool at 5:30. Practice till when?
Practice normally ends around about 7.
7. Lucky 7. Then you shower. Then you're off to school. It's not like you get to go home and take a nap. You're off to school till 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're home to take a nap. Or what extracurricular activities are you involved in?
Well, this year I'm not involved in band anymore, but previously it would be swim and band, so it would be like.
That was kind of hectic.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too long though, because nationals would have happened, so it would have been over fast. But.
All right. So when's your first conference meet?
I think.
November 15th, I think it is. No, that's 3A. Y'all got one in November.
Yeah, I heard it's like
Thursday before Thanksgiving. We're going with that for 100, Jack. Thank you.
I know it's in like November. It's
You got a
coming up
tennis
soon.
match to worry about. Who are some of the stars on your team? Who can we look forward to seeing their name in the paper and leading the Trojans to another conference championship?
Well, there is this girl Shelby who's really good.
Did we have Shelby on last week? Shelby was here last week, so she is very good. We like Shelby. And her mom's a hoot. Not that your parents aren't. They throw a great party. Dad's barbecue is the bomb.
And I think Gavin's doing pretty good too. Like I heard he's been working on it a lot, and so has Anthony. He's been working. Khalil, yeah, he's pretty good.
Khalil,
he's
been there for like 6 years. He's been there 6 years. Switching gears a little bit. Cubs or Indians?
I have no opinion.
No opinion. Well, you gotta have an opinion, man. I mean, this isn't like life or death. It's a show. Seahawks.
I guess. I mean,
Red Wings. Falcons.
Oh.
Okay, we're talking baseball. World Series. Chicago Cubs, first time they've been there in 70 years. Cleveland Indians, first time they've been there since the 40s. Their oldest player from the last team, the only one still alive, is 95 years old. That's old. So Cleveland Indians, Chicago Cubs. Do you have a preference?
I do not.
You do not have a preference. All right, favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That's a tough one. I like a lot of movies.
Pick one. Saturday Night Fever, Grease.
I like the Simpsons movie.
The Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
The Simpsons. All right, Stuck in Time. Cool, man. We're going to move along, but we're going to have you guys back on sometime during the season, talk about what's going on with swimming, and stay in touch, man. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right, Colin Schmidt, thank you very much. All right, now it's time for we're not going to have Nate on tonight. I promised the fans we were not going to have Nate on tonight. We got what? You're not dressed to be on the show, man. Come on over, Julian Hill, quarterback for the Pine Forest Trojans. Now we do have to talk about Nate. Nate Graham returned an interception for a touchdown. That's right. He knows I'm just picking on him over there, telling him he can't be on the show because he's not dressed appropriately. Anytime Nate is in the house, we're going to have Nate on the show. And folks, we're going into overtime right now because it's just the clock just ticked 8 o'clock, and normally I turn into a big fat pumpkin, but since I had pumpkin spice donuts, I'm good. I have my medicine. We're able to go a little bit farther. Pick up that microphone right there, Julian Hill, quarterback for the Pine Forest Trojans. Big game last week, man.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever had a game before where you ran for a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and threw a touchdown?
No, sir.
That looks pretty good in the stat book.
It does.
So when they called the play, we talked to Coach Sochovka earlier, said it's been in the book, but he had to pull it out. When he called the play and you knew that you was coming to you, what was going through your mind?
Well, I was ready. I was ready to make a play because offense wasn't having a good game the whole start, and defense kept going on the field. So I was like, we got to do something. So we actually called it on 2, but we snapped the ball on set. Some of the offensive linemen didn't move. So luckily the refs didn't see that, and we got the playoff.
All right, so you got the ball. You hand the ball off to Levante. And then what are you supposed to do once you hand the ball off to Levante?
Oh, I just carry out my fake like I usually do every play and just go up the sideline.
So you fake the ball. You hand the ball off to him. You peel out, and now you're all alone on the sideline. He stops. He throws you the ball. What's going through your mind? What do you? Oh man!
Don't drop it.
Don't drop it.
Yeah. 'Cause they say the hardest catch is when you're wide open. So.
And you were wide open.
Yeah.
And you just kind of waltzed into the end zone.
No, I had to sprint for a little because I started to coast in the end zone, and then they started chasing me, so I had to sprint.
All right, so 30-13 win, and you've been doing great. 67 for 129, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdown passes. That's a great year.
Yes, sir.
Is that all you got to say? I mean,
Oh,
I'm giving you a chance.
I'm
giving you a chance to say, man, that feels good, but I got a lot to improve on.
Oh yeah, we got a lot. We got big games coming up, so really have to do good on offense this week. Next, we play Cape Fear, because like our defense, they're tremendous. You know, they always keep us on the field. We just have to keep them off the field.
There
we
you
gotta
go.
Put up points, so.
Now, we talked a little bit about that 71st defense when I had Coach Sochovka on. I'm assuming you've seen them on film some this week. What do they do well when the 71st defense is on the field?
Well, they got good D linemen. They're fast and they're physical, but we just have to want it more than them. You can tell that they're well coached and they fly to the ball. So.
So you're looking across the D line. You see Jameis Alston. You see Antonio Barnes. What are you looking for when you look at their defense? Are you trying to outsmart them, or are you just trying to run right at them, doing what you do best?
I'm just trying to score. That's all I'm trying to do. I just want to put points up, and I bet that's what every offense wants to do. I just want to get it fast, quick. Yeah.
However it gets there.
Right.
Now, last season you had the injury. You've been back full-time this season. How good does that feel to be out there knowing that you've been out there every game, 2 games left that could decide whether you're first place or 4th place?
Well, it feels great. I'm happy to be out there. You know, it was a long recovery, but it's like I said, we still got a lot of games left, trying to win states, so got to keep it going.
Now, you got to throw a pass to your buddy. You hadn't thrown a pass to your buddy over there, your running mate, Matthew Sochovka. When he comes out on the field, has he got a big grin on his face?
Well, the funny thing is, every time we go through walkthroughs in practice, he said, "You're going to give me one this week." Every time we run goal line. We've been doing that since last year, and we finally got one. So
finally got one. He caught 2 passes. We'll have him up here in a minute. What do you have to do good this week in order for the Trojans to come out on top?
Well, we know it's our homecoming night, so we got to keep our heads level. We got to want to compete and just outsmart them. All offense, defense, special teams, coaches, everything. We just have to be on point. So.
All right, man. We'll be out there Friday night looking for you.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, hit quarterback Julian Hill, junior quarterback, and we're going to have Matthew Sochovka up to round out the night. Unless Nate wants to talk. You want to talk, Nate? Does a fat boy like to eat? Oh, come on, man. See, he's got his game pants on and construction worker boots. You boys are fashionistas. So we got Matthew Sochovka, Nate Graham. Matthew, man, you've had a great season on the defense, leading the conference in tackles. This week, man, you're going against the best running back in the area, Elijah McFadden. What's he do well, and how do you shut him down?
He's patient, and he knows how to run the offense. He waits for everything to open up, and he runs behind a pretty big offensive line. So this week, you know, we got to play our gaps, and we just got to feel down and hope we're in the right spots to make the plays, which we are, because we've had a pretty good practice the past couple of weeks. So.
Now, you guys had a layoff of a couple of weeks. How difficult was it for you to come back last week and get back in the rhythm and get the feel and the speed of the game down so you could excel?
I think the best thing that happened to us as a team was actually losing that game to Southview, because in that week we played Southview, we have been slacking off in practice, you know. And I think we practiced that Friday, we practiced that Saturday, we had that Sunday off. Those 2 Friday and Saturday practice probably the best practice we had all year. And then this week, Monday's always a good practice. Tuesdays are always rough. This Tuesday is probably the best Tuesday we had. So we feel pretty good. I mean, we got a big 2-game stretch coming up, and we're going to go at it every week like it's a conference championship.
Very good. Okay, so they call your grouping. You can run out there on the offensive side of the ball. You got a big grin on your face like you do right now?
I mean,
don't play it off, man. Come on.
Look, they usually come put me in the block, so – It was 4th and long. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm about to get one. And Drew dropped the snap. He rolled out, and he found me. So got lucky. But, you know, he always tell him to look for me.
Let's see, 2 catches, 35 yards. I mean, that's pretty good for a defensive lineman.
You know, just try to do my part for the team.
Oh, you're so modest. You're so modest. His mama has taught him well. His mama has taught him well. You guys have – what's the best thing about the Trojan defense this season?
What do you think? Brotherhood, just being around each other.
Everything.
I think he's right though. I mean, like we talked about before, we've all been around each other for so long, and we had a rough spot against Southview. I mean, they hurt us on the ground a lot, and I mean, after every time we go through defense period, now we have a meeting with like our coaches and we just talk about it. It's like trust your brother, because we didn't do that against Southie. We were like, this is his fault, But we've gotten back to what we do well. And you saw it last week. I mean, we scored a touchdown, had a safety, and we held them to a touchdown. The other one, well, we're not gonna talk about that, but yeah.
All right. So talked about the defensive touchdown you scored. Who scored that?
Nate.
Nate.
But, you know,
Nate is dangerous.
Nate is dangerous.
Nate is dangerous. Hashtag. Samantha, you're out there in coverage, and I can't tell what coverage it was because Coach Sochovka might get on us, but was it a tipped ball? I haven't seen the film. Was it a clean interception, nothing but green grass?
Oh, well, you know, Matt came down, had the pressure. He threw it, and I just came up on the ball, made a play. Green grass.
Nothing but taillights and tailpipes.
That's right.
Checking.
Steak dinner.
Steak dinner. Winner, steak dinner.
Hey, now.
But now this week, same question for you. Elijah McFadden, top running back in the area. They don't throw the ball a whole lot. How does that change your responsibility?
Oh, we still got to do our jobs. Everybody got to execute. That's how it is. Everybody got to execute. That's it.
That's it. You
That's
can't
it.
say, and they can't say anything else because he said too much last week.
Last time I got in trouble for saying too much. So
Last time you got
keep it short and sweet. Short and sweet.
50 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 4 interceptions. Nate is tied for the conference lead in interceptions.
That's right.
Continue the good work, guys. We'll be there Friday night. Looking forward to seeing you guys there in person the next 2 games because then you got Cape Fear. You got a week off, then Cape Fear. Your dad finally got the week off right. You don't the last week of the season.
Every week, last week of the season.
I know. So, yes, what? Oh, no, that's it. All right, so, hey, for Matthew Sochovka, for Nate Graham, for Daryl Giroux, Jared Britt, Bill Sochovka, Colin Schmidt, our man Jake from State Farm over there producing us in his khakis tonight, Jimmy Peaden, John Peaden, Ricky Peaden, Mark and Esther Acker. Man, you guys have been great. We'll see you next week. We'll hopefully be talking about a Pine Forest victory, the Trojans. For Pine Forest Trojan Nation, I'm Billy Mack. We'll see you next week right here on the Trojan Coaches Show.
Pack Power Media.